Okay, so welcome to our meetup today, Smarter Project Management with AI and Businessmap, and that's revolutionizing project management. And before we start, let's thank you, our patrons, without who we couldn't operate. We are not for profit at the moment, and only thanks to sponsors and patrons, we can actually cover our costs. So thank you very much to Businessmap, the Change Angels, Women in Technology and Science, and Work Matters. If you would like to contribute and support us, we would very much appreciate if you scan this QR code. And even if you can donate €1 or 2 or 3 euros, even if you donate €1, we have 57 people on the call. It will help us to cover the license of some software for a month. In case of few, 2, 3 softwares, we are using Zoom, we are using a podcast software, we are also having website. And I would like to welcome our speaker. Teodora already gave a talk a few weeks ago. The talk was extremely popular, and we had around 1,000 registered participants to that meetup. So by popular demand, Teodora is back again with us. And I already mentioned the title of the talk, a formal introduction. You already know Teodora from the last meetup, so I thought I will say something more personal, so we are not repeating the same information. So Teodora is joining us from northern Spain that we already established in mini chit chat before this meetup. It's equally rainy as Ireland. So if you're moving to Spain, not northern Spain, at least if you want to have a nice weather. And Teodora, that's her full name. She also likes to be called Teo. That's a sweet name, short name. And also she's animal lover, and she has a beloved dog, Lara, that she absolutely adores. So Teodora, the scene is yours.
Thank you very much, Joanna. Because we have not much time, less than an hour, I would like to go directly to my presentation. I'm going to introduce very few concepts just to make sure that all of us have the same understanding about I think this is not for me, so that all of us have the same understanding of the terms that I'm going to use in the presentation. And afterwards, I'm going to show you how we use the AI agents in Businessmap. I would like to say just a few words, just a very brief introduction of prompt engineering. This is not a course on prompt engineering, just introducing the key concepts, because we are going to use these terms in the presentation. So let's start with the concept of prompt. Okay, so what is a prompt? So when we say a prompt, we understand all the instructions, all the information that we are giving to a large language model. And typically we refer to the large language models as AI recently. So all the instructions, all the information that we are providing to the AI, let's say so, is what we call prompt. So it is not just the latest sentence or question or instruction that we give to the AI or to the large language model. It is, in fact, all the conversations that we have had with the AI by that moment. This is what we call a prompt. This is very important because through these instructions, through these guidance, explanations, or contextual information, we are providing all the data, all the information that the LLM needs to be able to answer our questions. Okay, so we are also going to talk about prompt engineering. We are going to see all these concepts in action in a while. So prompt engineering is the way, or really this definition of the different prompts for the AI or for the large language model in order that we obtain the information that we need. Okay, so we can think of a large language model, or we can think of an AI as a really very smart assistant that we have for our, in this case, project management job that we are going to talk about. Therefore, it is very important to learn how to express ourselves, how to write prompts, or to learn prompt engineering. But this is not a course about prompt engineering. So if we all understand that the better our prompts, the better the outcome, the better the information that we are going to get from the AI, that is fully enough for this presentation. And the other thing is that we have to have overall knowledge about how the AI or how the large language models think. Okay, so how they make the reasoning. So mainly they think in terms of patterns. So because they have received lots of information, they have been trained using a large amount of information, therefore the name of large language model. So they are capable to identify very quickly different patterns, and they use these patterns to develop the answers that they provide to us. So overall, the interaction with the AI is like this. We provide an input information. Now we are going to talk a little bit how we structure and how we define this input information. Then the large language model or the AI is doing the reasoning, is thinking, is analyzing this information, and it is providing the output. So in order to obtain good outputs, good quality information that is really helpful for the project managers or for anyone who uses this information for making better decisions, we have to provide contextual information. We have to explain why we need this output, this information, and we have to explain ourselves as specific as well as possible. So based on these principles, at Businessmap, we are developing the Businessmap AI agents, and I'm going to show you how they work in a while. But if you know these principles, in fact, you can use this information for working with any AI agent. Okay, so what is important for us, therefore we have started developing these AI agents in Businessmap, is to help, in this case, project managers, project organizations, executive management, all the different roles that take advantage from the information in Businessmap to be able to make smarter decisions faster, save their time in analyzing information and making better decisions. Okay, so how do we define well the prompts? So the first thing, something that I already mentioned, we have to express ourselves as clearly as possible. So then we can expect, that the LLM is going to make a good analysis of this information that we are providing, and is going to give us a better outcome, more useful information. So we want to avoid expressions like "tell me about the task." So if we are seeing information in Businessmap, we would prefer to ask a question like something like this: list overdue tasks in project ABC or project X with due dates and assignees. So we give a clear requests or instructions to the AI. We also need to provide context precisely because the AI thinks in terms of patterns. So if we provide a good context, then we have higher possibility to obtain good outcomes, and not like very generic outcomes that sometimes people say, okay, this is too generic, so it doesn't work. So we can say, for example, the progress of project X is directly affects the accomplishment of the objectives for the first quarter of 2025. And then we can ask questions about this particular about this particular project. It is very helpful if we assign a role. We assign this role to the AI. We ask the large language model to adopt a role and start thinking as a particular role. So this is really very helpful. And in the beginning, when I was playing with different AI tools, sometimes the examples are, we are kind of organization or something like this. It is a lot more helpful if we tell explicitly the AI model, you are a project manager, or act as a project manager and analyze this information that we are providing. And then, again, this improves the outcome that we obtain from the AI model. If necessarily, we have to define, this is optional, of course, but if it is important for us, for the project managers, to obtain the outcome in a particular format, it is better to suggest or to explain what is the format. For example, use HTML format, or give a table with 3 columns like task name, owner, and status. So all the information, all the instructions that we can give to the AI model help it provide the answer that is closest to what we need. And something that we all have learned and we keep learning, that it's not about just writing one sentence or few sentences and obtain the outcome. It is a process of refining continuously the prompts that we write and give to the AI. And this is how we also learn to express ourselves and to chat with the AI in order that to obtain the information that we need. So very few practices, like only 5 of them, but very useful and applicable to in all tools or large language models that we communicate. In Businessmap, now we are going to see everything in action. We have mainly these 4 prompts. So we can make very clear, we can write very clear instructions. I'm going to show you how we do this. For example, summarize completed tasks, okay? Or summarize the information or the status information about a certain project or several projects. Explain how to define OKRs in Businessmap, okay? It's always useful to give this, to assign the role to the AI agent in Businessmap as well, and tell it explicitly. You are a project manager, you are a portfolio manager, or you are a department manager, a department leader. And based on this information, start analyzing the data in Businessmap from this perspective, from the perspective of this role. We can also have analytical prompts, like how many tasks per person are they in progress? Or analyze the cycle time for the last 30 days. When do we need this information? When we have to make estimates, or when we have to see what is the current workload in a team, in a project team, in an organization, in order to be able to make decisions. Are we in a situations, in conditions, for example, to commit to new projects or to start a new project, or when we will be able to deliver a certain project with this, with the current workload that we are experiencing and seeing in Businessmap. And of course, we can define prompts, including different steps. For example, find overdue tasks, then suggest actions. Here we have 2 steps, and you will see how we define prompts with more than 2 steps as well. Okay, so that's all the theory I have prepared for now, and now we are going to see all these concepts in actions in Businessmap. But again, these concepts are valid and you can apply them in any interaction with an AI model. So for this, in order to show you how all this works in Businessmap, I have prepared these scenarios. You can think of that the situation when we are a large organization and we have different teams or different organizational units, for example, software development, electrical design, mechanical design, other teams, marketing, logistics, etc. And each one of these teams that you can see here, they use their boards, they manage their work by means of boards in Businessmap. And all these team boards are connected to one or more. For this presentation, I use a single management board, which works either for visualizing project work or multiple projects work. So it could be a project board or a program management board. Okay, so now I will check if I can go directly. So do you see my screen now? Businessmap on the screen?
I see our scenario slide.
Okay, so I have to stop sharing then in order to share again. Thank you for this. Okay. Okay, so just for you to be able to see this. So these are, you see these team boards here for these different teams in this organization. We have mechanical design, electrical design, control system, software development, testing, validation, deployment, and maintenance. So these are all different, you can call them functional teams, departments, organizational units, but they use team boards for managing their work. And I have created this single management board, which is called industrial projects, because here we can see information about industrial project. I'm going to make it a little bit larger to make sure that you see it well. So what do we see here? We have this one project, which is called production line robot. You can see it here. It is scheduled, it was launched in Q4 last year, and it is scheduled to be delivered at the end of June 2025, this year. Okay. Here you can see these different work packages that you see here in this project. You can see them here, and all these work packages are in fact implemented on the corresponding boards of these functional teams. For example, we have a work package for the electrical design team, and if you go to the electrical design team, you can see this work package here. Okay, we have another one for mechanical design, another one for software development. So all these work packages, you can see them here. In order to see them in a more convenient manner, you can see all the work that these different business units are developing. You can see them in these, under this line that is called linked workflows. Okay, so you can see what is happening and what is the progress at the level of work packages, let's say so, of these organizational units. You can see it here. And for organizations, sometimes people ask whether we can use this for managing projects in a hybrid manner in organizations that are using predictive management and some agile methods. So here you can always see this planning in the timeline, which is very similar to the Gantt chart. So you can see here the work packages when it was planned to start and finish them. So it's very easy to switch them. And at team level, of course, the teams or the organization units can use any method or methodology that is suitable for organizing their work. Okay, so this is just contextual information for this organization. This is not a real organization, but it is like a good scenario to be able to visualize how the AI agents of Businessmap can help us, in this case, in doing project management work. So, okay, so how do we start? When we define a project, when we launch a project, we plan it. So typically, we define the work breakdown structure here. So you can see this is the project, these are the work packages, and they are broken down into work packages and down to tasks that are scheduled to be planned to be delivered by different teams. So we all know who have done this job that it often happens that although we have made this plan and this work breakdown structure and everything is in the cards, everything is on the board, sometimes people simply need more information because typically in organizations, people are working on are involved in more than one project. So imagine that we enter here in this electrical design and we want to see what it means. Okay, so here we have some risk information. We are going to use this later. So let's see, for example, this software development work package. Okay. What we can see, what we can do, for example, in order to provide more information about this work package, we can use, you can see here, this icon for the AI. So we can click here. I'm going to copy the name of this work package. Then I can go there and I can say, describe this software development work package in more details. Okay. And then we leave it to the AI assistant. We give some information. It doesn't mean that we have to accept everything, but at least we can insert it here. Then we can read it and we see, okay, if it's about software development, typically we have these phases like requirements gathering, system design, implementation, testing, things like this. So it's not mandatory to accept it. So if we do not agree, or if some of these descriptions are not fully suitable for our project, then of course we can select them and edit them the way to make it more appropriate. However, we can simply say, okay, testings, user acceptance testing. Maybe here we can ask the AI to help because we need more information. Elaborate this point more. And for example, say that at validation testing at the end of the project development life cycle. Okay. And we get this, so we can replace it again. It's always us that have to make decisions, and whether we like these descriptions or not, or whether we want to adjust them. But still, as a starting point, this kind of descriptions really save us time and facilitate and improve the communication and clarify all the information that we want to provide for the project team in this time about this work package. And something else, so if we are happy with this description, we can update this card and we already have it. But something else, we can go, for example, to a project, a team board, for example, and we can come here, mobile app, and we say, okay, so we have a very brief description what a mobile app means in this case, this work item, and it says an application for smartphones and tablets that allows operators to control and monitor the robot on the go. Yeah, but what do we really have to do? The person, in this case, Theo, what is she supposed to do? Maybe Theo, in this case, is going to need some more information about what she's expected to do. So we can add a subtask. And again, using this agent here, we can say, suggest subtasks for the mobile app work item. Okay. And again, we have this information, and it includes, for example, define app requirements, create wireframes, set up development environment. So maybe we don't agree with this one, so we remove it. Maybe we don't agree with like, for example, create wireframes, and in the end, we can leave only the information that is appropriate for this work item. So this is one way to obtain, to provide this additional information very quickly in the cards or in the projects. There is another way too, and you can see it here. You always look for this icon here about the prompts. Okay, so everything that I mentioned in the beginning about the prompts, we can use this knowledge, this notion, to prepare, to define some prompts that can be used in different situations. Like these are the prompts that we use in this organization. Okay, and for example, for subtasks, you can see here. For example, for software development subtasks, you can see what kind of prompt I have prepared before this. So You are a project manager. So you see, we are telling explicitly the AI to act as a project manager. So you are a project manager who defines the tasks to be done in order to complete the project results. And each task is represented by a card. So we are very explicit, and we give the AI agent this information about how we represent the cards, the tasks, what kind of information have to be included, and what do we call a subtask. Okay, the subtasks are smaller tasks that have to be completed to accomplish the task which they make part of. Okay, and also we give clear instructions. Make sure to indicate the assignee for a subtask and expected delivery date. Okay, so if we use this prompt to ask the AI agent to define a list of subtasks for a particular card, then the AI agent have to follow these instructions and fulfill them. Also, we give additional contextual information. Urgent tasks have to be completed as soon as possible, although this might require interrupting other tasks. Okay, and we tell the AI agent that in order to define the tasks and the subtasks, read the title and read the description of the card. And this is how you, the AI agent, have to use this information that we are submitting to the model. Okay, the title summarizes the work to be done, and the description provides more details about the work to be done. Use the description, the information in the description, to understand better the job and define the subtasks. Okay, so how do we use this information? We can go again to the mobile app and to the subtasks, and instead of just starting typing and asking the AI every time, writing the same questions, define the subtasks for this work item, we can say generate the AI subtask from here, and for this you can use the software development subtask prompt, which is saved there. Okay, so we generate this, and we see here the suggestions from the AI agent. Again, if we agree and if we find this appropriate, we decide we can add this to the subtasks. And if we don't agree and we don't see these suggestions appropriate, we simply skip them. So we can read here, define the app's core features and functionalities, and the assignee could be a product owner, and the expected delivery date for this information that comes from the card could be 1st of November 2023. Okay, maybe I do not agree with the date, but I can add this subtask. Okay, then again, we do the same with the other subtasks. So we accept them or not. For example, conduct testing for functionality and user experience. The assignee will be the QA tester, and the expected delivery date will be November 25th, 2023. Okay, we can say add. Okay, and maybe that's all we want to accept. However, we don't agree with the date, and therefore we say, okay, the date for this one will be 10th of April, and for this one will be 16th of April, for example. Okay, and we can even edit here and remove this, not to ensure that we don't confuse our people. Okay, and we also edit this, and again we remove this delivery date to avoid misunderstanding. And in the end, oops, that was a mistake. No problem. We just cancel this, and in the end we have all the information here, and you can see the subtasks that they appear in the card in Businessmap. So another mistake of the same time. So what do we gain with this? This is a faster way to define the information, all the details about the projects, and to make sure that all the people that are involved in this project take part in it, have the information, have the complete information they need for developing their work. Okay, so that's about, we can talk a lot, but I see that we don't have that much time. So maybe that's enough for defining the work breakdown structure, and the information in the cards. Let's have a look when we are talking about project monitoring and control. We want to see what is the information, the status of the project in a very immediate manner. So I have prepared here another prompt, which is called weekly report. Let's have a look at it. And it says, okay, you are a project manager. Again, we are giving this indication to the AI agent. And the instruction is, please check the cards and prepare a weekly report with the following sections: finished work, delayed work, blocked work, risks, and issues. And we are giving these fields from the cards: title, description, comment, subtask, deadline, column, blocked, and blocker. And we tell the AI agent that in the comments, you can see information related to the risks associated to the work items. Okay, so this is the work that this is the instruction, the prompt that we have pre-prepared, and we can use it many times constantly. So one way to use this prompt, for example, is to say, okay, this is the information that I want to see in a weekly report. Okay, because every week, for example, I, as a manager of this software development department, have to report what is the status of the work. So we select the cards that have been completed during this week and that are still in progress, and we say, okay, prepare my weekly report. And here we have the report. Finished work. Pay attention. We gave information, we gave instructions about the format of the report that we want to obtain. So we have these sections in the report: finished work, with all this information coming from the descriptions of the cards. Delayed work, no delayed work reported. That's perfect. Blocked work, however, we have two blocked cards. Now we are going to check whether this is correct or not. These two, field bus protocols and obstacle avoidance. We have one risk communicated in the card of data storage. This is the description of the risk. There is a high risk of delay due to supplier's delivery delay, and issues, no issues, have been communicated in the field that we have indicated. So we can copy this summary, we can use it, just paste it in where we want to communicate it in the format, but you can see that this is information that we get very quickly. So all of us who have done project reports sometime in our lives, you know that coming to this summary so quickly, this is kind of a revolution really for the project management. It's not easy, provided that the information is, of course, in Businessmap. And here are these two cards that we have identified that they are blocked. And we can do similar reports or similar status monitoring reports in all the boards. Okay, so we can have these reports. Pay attention that we can have these weekly reports. For example, here on this board of the multiple projects, under the linked workflow, we can see the work that, in this case, the one that I have selected, is on the software development board. But because we are selecting the initiatives here, which are different work packages, we can use the same weekly report, which is defined. In fact, this prompt is defined on the board of software development. Okay, and if we want to use a similar report here, we have other prompts defined. For example, we can see these different prompt. It is similar, but still different. We can have a look here, and we can say, you see that here we say the instructions that we give is to the AI agent is: you are a project manager in an engineering company. You have to report the work progress of the projects that you lead. Each project is represented by a card, and for each one of the cards, report the following information: deadline, risks, blocked, and blocked reason. And again, instruction about the format of the report. Use HTML formatting H2 for each section. And similarly, here we give the fields that we want the AI agents to take the information from in order to prepare the report. And here we give this additional contextual information for each one of the fields, what kind of information it includes and how it has to be included in the report. So in this case, if we select these initiatives and we run this prompt, we are going to obtain the information about these reports. Something else that we can do, for example, just a second, just to make it a little bit larger, we can say, okay, I'm not interested in all these work packages or all these projects. I only want to make sure that I report the information about the software development. So then we can select these work items and we can run this project report. And then we obtain the information only for this initiative or this project. Okay? Okay, this is a very good project. So the deadline is March 7, 2025. No risks, no blocked reason. Okay, no risks. Okay, everything here seems to be very well. We have risks associated only to this work package, to the software development work package, and because there are some changes to the user interface requirements, the probability is middle. There will be 1 or 2 weeks of delay, etc. But anyway, it's not that important what is the information, which is the precise information that we see in this report. It is about the possibility to have this information. We can go the same way, for example, to electrical design, for example, and we can say that we only, let me see first what kind of prompts. Here we don't have prompts defined, so let's go back then to software development, and we can say, okay, here I want to see only the information related to this work package, so it will be something similar. We generate this report using this prompt, and now we see this information. It is more meaningful here and more complete. So you get an idea that we prepare these prompts for providing all these reports, all the information, and when we run these prompts, these agents, you can see that we get this information instantly. Of course, it is important that the information is in Businessmap. Other agents that are very helpful, for example, imagine that here in the software development team, for example, in addition to developing, implementing functionalities for the software models, maybe we have part of the team, or the team is also attending or fixing some bugs or implementing some particular requests. And therefore, we have here this bugs and requests workflow with information there. So if we need to provide, for example, more information for some of these cards, let's say this one, we can get into here, and we can go, for example, to the comments. And for example, we can say provide more information about, because we see that the title of this request or this incident is blockers. So we can ask the AI assistant provide more information about the possible reasons for blocking a work item in software development. Okay, because we don't see much information here, or maybe I could have write the ask questions, write the additional questions in order to understand what are the reasons that might have caused this blocking of this item. Okay, so we only see that Okay, so we see here some information how I can visualize blockers for your work item. So one option is to ask for these possible reasons. Another option could be, okay, we can add this comment because this might be helpful for us. Another one could be, for example, to generate this comment and to use, for example, precisely the prompt. Now, afterwards, I'm going to show you the prompt that we have, and it is a prompt specific for the support assistant. And when we generate this prompt, now we are going to see it, we have given the instructions to the AI agent to use the descriptions of the incident in order to define the answer to this incident. Okay, so we can see this information, and if we agree with this, it even answers in Spanish because the prompt was in Spanish. If we agree with this, we can send it by email, for example, to the person who submitted this request and add this comment here. Okay, so let me just show you what was this prompt. This is the support assistant. Okay, so here you have it in Spanish. I executed this prompt, but you can see it here in English, which will be easier. It's the same assistant. So the instructions we gave were: you are a support assistant, you are in charge of resolving incidents and using the Businessmap platform. So here you have some more instructions, and this is what we said: start your answer always with hello, and you end your response with contact us if you need more information. So again, information, contextual information about the fields that include the information, and this is how this prompt acts and saves time again and provides ensures that the people get the complete information and do not miss any detail when they when they do their job. Just very briefly, more about the AI agents. Maybe one that you can we observe that companies, our clients, are using more frequently is this one, the help center, because here, for example, when you go to contact support, okay, you can see that you see this greeting. Hello, I'm the Businessmap AI customer support. This doesn't mean that we don't have a customer support team anymore. However, because we have already developed all these facilities, all these possibilities. So first we are providing these possibilities, for example, for people who want to check something, to ask something about how to do something in Businessmap, they can directly type their questions here. For example, how to connect team boards to a management board. This is a very simple question, but still we see this question. And you see, you get this answer immediately. What would be the alternative action? So if someone wants to see to find the answer to these questions, typically they will have to go to the knowledge base and make the search there. It would take quite some time, for sure, more than the time that in which they got the answer here. So you can see, and of course, if you see more information, you can always go there. And if you still need support, customer support, and you are able to click here and get the answers. But the good point is that because Businessmap is already a very complete, very rich platform, you can ask your questions and obtain these answers very quickly. You can, for example, ask how to define objectives and key results in Businessmap. Okay, you can get again the answers very quickly. You can ask about how to define SLAs, how to define deadlines, any questions that arises and this is related to managing your work, you can ask them very quickly here and you get the answers immediately. And the one thing that I definitely want to show you, although it is still work in progress, well, it will be work in progress. There will be always work in progress for us. But I mean, you can expect a lot improvement in this field in the next months, is using the AI coach, okay, for answering questions that are in the field of project management are very important, because here you can answer questions related to the performance of the teams or obtaining data about from historical data from the performance of different teams, different functions, different types of work, different projects, and be able to use this information for planning, for estimating, for forecasting. So like very quickly obtaining this information. The alternative would be going to the analytics, seeing lots of graphics, analyzing all these graphics, which all takes time. But for example, if typically we ask questions, for example, what is the workload or how many tickets we have per person, in order to find out whether we will be able to assign a new task to some of our team members or not. So we can ask here, for example, how many cards per person do we have in progress now? Something like this. So just asking how many cards per each one of these team members has now. And we see that Ainhoa has 3 cards, yes, Carlos 1, John 2, and Theo 1. Okay, so this kind of questions. But I see that we only have 5-6 minutes left. So I'd rather stop here to be able to answer your questions. And if you have more questions and we cannot answer all the questions today, feel free to contact me. I will be happy to answer all additional questions offline.
We have already a few questions in the chat. Okay, we have Dariusz. We have a question from Dariusz. From where does it take information from, especially for risk issue and the description? I think we need a little bit of context, isn't it, Teodora? Or you know what Dariusz is asking about?
It is about weekly report.
Okay, thank you.
That is, you remember when I showed the prompts? When we define the prompts, we tell the agent, take the information from these fields. And
yes, I know, but then it needs to understand that this is description of a risk or an issue, not just, some kind of other.
Yeah, but we expect that, for example, in a comment, you say that in a comment, somebody has said that there is a risk of something because of this. So the agent reads the comments, and when it identifies the word risk, it includes this comment into the report.
Okay, that's what I expected, but thank you for clarification.
Either from comments or from descriptions, but if you have other places to communicate risks and you know that your people communicate risks in other fields, you have to tell this explicitly to the AI agent.
Okay, so let me follow on this. So business card has got tokens, and there is risk tokens, something like that, or blockers, let's say. So if you put description in a token, and if you use it, this is, I don't know, due to supply delay, and you put it either on the blocker or on a sticker, will it take it from there also?
Yes, if you put in the prompt that read the blockers and the block reasons and evaluate whether they are risk for delay or not. Typically they are. So you have to put this in the instruction, in the prompt. So then in your report, you will see the list of the blockers and information, if it has been included, of course, in the reason for blockage, that this is a risk for delay, for example, or risk for extra costs.
Okay. Thank you. So maybe I will follow the second question because I asked another question about Businessmap AI Assistant. So will it all work in different languages or just only in English?
It works in
well?
different languages. Therefore, you saw that I showed you an answer in Spanish because my prompt was in Spanish.
Okay.
But if you ask the assistant, if you ask in Polish, you are going to receive the answer in Polish.
So thanks very much, everybody. And as Teodora also mentioned, if you have some other follow-up questions about the software, if you try it and would like to get some clarity, please feel free to reach to Teodora via LinkedIn. And looking forward to our next meetup and meeting you there. If you would like to contribute and support us, we would very much appreciate if you scan this QR code